Good morning, class. This is your instructor. I apologize about the late upload here. Um, I wanted to start by talking about an extra credit opportunity that I will be offering for those of you that are missing some weekly assignments or that you want to improve your overall essay grades. And so, what this will do, this will give you 20 points to make up either two missing grades, right? If your weekly assignments are 10 points each, you can replace any missing or low grade for automatic 10 on two of those, or you can add 20 points to any major essay so that you can bring up those grades, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at an example. So the thing that this essay is going to be is, well, this extra credit opportunity is going to be a presentation, right? So there has to be an audio component. You can either present it at a live like meeting time, right? So I'll let you know what times are available if you want to present it to me via Zoom chat and share your screen, and then we can you can just present it to me. But you'll also have to put it in a discussion board that's specifically for the extra credit, right? So anybody who puts their PowerPoint or their presentation on that discussion board um, will have submitted for the extra credit opportunity. And I'll give you a few weeks even after the media analysis is due to talk about it. And so, what is it as far as what's the extra credit opportunity? It's simply presenting your media analysis in a verbal form, right? So you can record yourself as I do with these meetings and then upload it to YouTube and share that link, or you can embed it in a PowerPoint and put that PowerPoint online. Now, they tend to get pretty big if you're saving the file to the PowerPoint, and PowerPoint presentations can be quite large. So it might not allow you. So your best opportunity is either to save it as a PowerPoint and then present it live through a Zoom meeting, or to download it and save it as a YouTube link and then share that link with us so that way we can review it during the discussions. Again, you can either do it live or you can pre-record it and save it, but it has to have an audio component. I need to be able to hear you explain your presentation or your media analysis. So here's an example that I went ahead and put together, right? So I have my introduction, Chocolate Memories and the Fear of Hunger by Ricardo Tinajero. Here I set an agenda. These are the things that I'm going to be talking about, right? I'm going to introduce Snickers, the candy bar. I'm going to then talk about logos and the typography. And then I'm going to talk about pathos with the image of the tiger. And then I'll be referencing chocolate and the color scheme of brown that they use in the analysis, right? So let's go ahead. Afterwards, I will render my verdict, right? My analysis of the ad. Is it successful? Is it not successful? Etc. And so I would start with my introduction. I would talk about how Snickers was introduced in the 1930s. It's part of the Mars Bar Chocolate Company. And while initially it wasn't the best-selling chocolate, in the past decade or so, it has maintained the number one selling spot as far as chocolate bars go, and it sells over 400 million units. It's sold over 400 million units in the last year alone. So, with that, I would then talk about their advertisement campaign, right? So this is just a summary of my paper as a whole. The sample paper that I put up there. I will talk about their "You're Not Hungry," "You're Not You When You're Hungry" campaign. It started in 2010 and became wildly successful. People enjoyed the comedy, especially when they would show older actors like Betty White, right, playing tag, or well, actually, I think they were playing tackle football in a park, right? And then as soon as they give them a candy bar, the Snickers, they turn back to their normal selves, right? That's kind of part of the appeal of the campaign. And then I will talk about this specific ad, how it was created by the Y&R Dubai ad agency, affiliated with Snickers, and how they used all the parts that we're going to cover, ethos, pathos, and elements of design to really emphasize that you should be thinking about chocolate all the time and trying to sell you a Snickers bar. So again, this would be a summary of my body paragraph one. I'll talk about the ethos, right? The text that says "You're not you when you're hungry." I would give it credit because I am citing the source. The person who is credited for photography of this image, which would be Shams, and it's 2018. Then I would uh, show the image of a cross section of a Snickers, right? Because that's the purpose. When they reference "You're not you when you're hungry" and they put the image of the candy bar, the Snickers bar here, they're trying to remind their readers, like, hey, this is, well, they're building credibility by saying, you know what's in a Snickers, you've had it before, and it's very filling, it's dense, right? And so they're showing you the cross section of the chocolate, the nougat, the peanuts, and the caramel, to try and help the reader, or the viewer in this case, come to the same conclusion that, wow, there's a lot in here, I should have this, right? It's going to be a filling candy bar. And so that would be pretty much how I present my topic one. Topic two, I would talk about fear of the tiger, and the image at the bottom right is the actual photograph of the woman with the tiger face paint. And so I'll talk about the image of the tiger, how it represents ferocity and voraciousness. So it's one of the few creatures on Earth that is a legitimate man-eater that has been known to eat humans and or hunt them. And so with that image of the tiger, we understand that there should be some caution around it, right? This sort of innate fear of the power of this creature specifically in nature. And so when you put that image of the tiger on the person's face and they both meet at the mouth, then we can tell that the thing that's uniting them is the hunger, right? They're both hungry. They're both creatures to be feared in this case, right? And so this woman has this really kind of like angry look on her face, because she's so hungry, and that then instills fear in us to know that if we let our loved ones or another person be hungry, then we're putting ourselves at risk because of the hangriness or the hunger and anger that's associated with, not eating, or not being full or satisfied with a meal or something like that. And so in this way, we learn to associate the fear of the people around us as well as our own fear of hunger with this sort of predator that we should be cautious of. And so the only way to make sure that you are not prey to that predator is, again, to feed them, right? And that's how it plays towards our fear, to make us want to eat or give Snickers to anybody rather than let them be hungry and angry at us, right? And lastly, this would be a summary of my body paragraph 3, where I talk about the elements of design, right? I give all the different hues of browns. I give a sample of the chocolates and the different shades of chocolate. And so then I will go in and talk about the advertisement and its design as well, right? The advertisement has brown in almost every shade, a little bit of yellow, and maybe a little bit of what would be white, but even when it's painted on the skin, has a little bit of a light brown or tanness to it, right? So that can even represent the peanuts of the Snickers bar, where the darker edges of the chocolate or the border are a darker chocolate, more rich, more savory. We associate it with that. The woman's skin has been painted to almost a caramel color, so we associate that with the sweetness of caramel as well. And so when we look at the advertisement and the color brown is in everything we see, there's no way for us to think of anything except what they want us to, in this case the chocolate, and how chocolatey and sweet desserts can be, right? Or snacks, in this case a candy bar. And so it's actively trying to make us want chocolate through that. And so that would be my summary, and then I would render a conclusion, right? I would say that this commercial is very successful in doing what it's setting out to do. However, the one caveat, or the one exception, is it has to be somebody that's already familiar with the Snickers. Now, most people in America have had a Snickers unless they have a peanut allergy, in which case, of course, they would have not had one. But in that case, this would not be a successful advertisement to somebody with a peanut allergy anyways, because there's no way they're going to want a Snickers if it's putting their life at risk. And so with that also, only people who have had Snickers can recall the image, the tastiness, or the fulfilling nature of a Snickers bar, would be able to identify strongly with everything it's saying, because they have to know already or have an idea of what's in the Snickers bar. Now, if they wanted to succeed more, perhaps they could have shown a cross section of a Snickers bar, which a lot of the recorded commercials, the ones we'll see on TV and stuff like that, they're always going to show a candy bar kind of like being broken in half, and they're going to show a caramel stretch, because most people, anybody who hasn't had a Snickers bar will then rely on that image to see what's in it and how good it is. And so that would be my summary. It's successful, but only for those who are familiar with what's in a Snickers bar already, because it really tries to sell you on what you already know is good, right? So that would be my conclusion overall. I would have a final slide with my references, right? Shams Tea 2018 Snickers, Y&R Dubai Snickers, retrieved from, and then I'll put the link of where I got the advertisement from. So again, this is the presentation style. It just has to be about 4 to 5 minutes, and it's going to be an extra credit opportunity, so that way you can upload it and we can go over it, and then I can give you some feedback. I'll probably ask questions on your discussion board post, so please do answer those, because any failure to answer questions is going to take some points off of that overall extra credit. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. On Thursday, we're going to have a full lecture. This is going to include our discussion on the things they carried, Tim O'Brien, since we missed that last week. But I'll also post some new readings, and that way we can get ready to start discussing those by next week. And then, of course, by next week, at the end of Friday, is when your media analysis will be due. So please make sure you have all that ready to go. And I'll go ahead and review the assignment, because I think I'm going to make it require a peer review. That means when you submit it, you're going to have to review someone else's paper and give them feedback, and then they can go ahead and or maybe I'll do it this Friday. No, we're already kind of running out of time, but I'll let you know what we're going to work towards next week. Okay. All right, class. Again, sorry for the short lecture, but I just wanted to let you know about the extra credit opportunity.